Hi Flosstube, my name's Mel and this is my channel Patchy Pony Stitcher. Welcome back if you're a returning subscriber, and welcome if you're new and you're checking my channel out. I do hope there's something here that you like. Today is the 2nd of August 2024 and I am recording from cold Tasmania in Australia. For the rest of the world, I know you're suffering a heat wave, but it is cold here. If you're not familiar with Tasmania, we're the southernmost state of Australia, and then I'm in the southernmost part of that state, so quite close to Antarctica, enough that it is freezing. So when I'm listening to your floss tubes about how warm it is in the UK and North America, it's if only. I can't wait for spring to come. I did duck off to Bali to get some warmth, so if you are keen on seeing some footage, I will have a video at the end of our Bali holiday. So, where have I been? The last time I checked in with you, it was the 24th of April. Madness, I know, time got away from me, but there was a slight reason why I was away for so long. Now, the reason being is that I was monogamously stitching on a birthday gift. I'm going to pop in that you've already seen because I've put a video in at the very front. So the Taylor Swift framed piece that you have just seen in my little reel. So I started this piece 2 weeks prior to a birthday because I purchased the chart off Etsy, and I'm going to pop in the copy of the presentation photo that drew my eye to it in here. It's in a hoop. It looks like an easy stitch, doesn't it? I didn't read the stitch count on this guy. In my mind, I was thinking 2 weeks, I can knock this over. It'll be a little token gift, nothing too huge. Printed it out, got started, and quickly realized that this is actually stitching up way bigger than I had anticipated. And it should have clicked when I was getting the fabric, because I looked at the fabric dimensions and it should have clicked then, but it didn't. And once I started, I didn't want to stop. I thought, yeah, I can still whip this out in 2 weeks. More like 2 months. So you've seen the reel. Can I show you? And this is where it is completely finished. Oh, that glare's terrible. I'm going to put a photo over the top of me here of the piece in its photo so you can see it. So it ended up being 23 centimeters wide and 27 centimeters long. A big piece. So it took way longer than what I thought it was. And I couldn't share it with you on Flosstube because the person that I was stitching it for had been introduced to my channel only weeks before, and I didn't want them to see it. So the stitch piece is for my son's partner, girlfriend. It was her 21st and she'd recently been to Taylor Swift, and we're big Swiftie fans together. So it was something symbolic there, but also her love for Swiftie. And I just thought I could keep knocking it out. I ran out of colour. I had to go get new floss. Then I had to find a frame to suit. And of course, it's not a standard size, so I had to, that took a little while to find a frame. Oh, and then I had to spray paint the frame. I'll put the photo back in here because the frame, as you can see, is black. Well, it was a lovely worn brown timber beat up frame. So we did some repair jobs on it and got it smick that it now looks amazing. So it will be heading off to its rightful owner at the end of next week. So that is why I haven't been here, because I couldn't show you. I'd been stitching on that monogamously and I really couldn't say much else. I'm gonna have to take that off. It's getting warm now. I've got the heater going, as you saw. Yes, so I have now started stitching on other things. So I've got 5 whips to show you as well with what I've been working on prior to starting that one. And also since, because I probably finished that like three weeks ago. So I have started getting back to my other stitching. So I've got 5 whips to show you today. Well, the Taylor Swift one was a what do you call it, a SAF, a start and a finish since you've seen it last. I don't have any other new starts because I think that one was well and truly sufficient. So let me get on to my whips. The first one I'm going to show you is my full coverage, and then I'm going to show you 4 other whips with the overhead, just so I can keep everything still for you and you're able to see what I'm presenting. Now my full coverage, one of my favorite pieces. I try to work on this as much as I can. I do have to show you this one while it's on the stand because it's on a tapestry stand and it is whip stitched in, and it does not come off. So this is the gift. This is a Facebook only obtainable pattern. So if you do need assistance and you'd like to stitch this, just email me below and I can share those details with you. So this is where I was up to before. And this is where I am up to now. Now I am really happy with how this is coming along. It being a watercolour, it's very undefined while you're stitching. It's not till you stand back and get a real appreciation of how much work you've done and the colours. So just once again, I'll put it both in frame. So still very much a ways to go with this one. I am using a 16 count easy grid Ada and the call for DMCs. And lots of lots of waste threads there that you can see. But love this one to pieces and really enjoy working on it. Using the easy grid certainly makes life easier, and that's what I will use for any full coverage piece from here on in. So here is Consider the Lilies laid out so you can see it, how much I've done in its entirety. I haven't actually had it out of the Q-snap while I've been working on that bottom row, so it's actually nice for me to see it out as well. I've given it a bit of a press. I didn't press it too heavily because I don't like to iron too much before the final iron and ready for framing, just because it flattens the stitches a bit. To give you a perspective, it's 28 inches wide and 23 inches long, so it is a big one. But I'm going to take you in for a closer look at where I have been up to, what I've been doing in the last 2 months. So here we are, the house is finally finished. It was a bit of a mammoth effort and lots of counting and a bit of frogging, I must admit, to get that house completed, but I am glad it's done. I'm actually wrapped with how it looks. I didn't think I'd actually enjoy the house, but I actually really didn't mind it. So I won't be steering away from charts that have big houses on them in the future. I think I might actually be looking at them. I just love how the brickwork and the mortar came out in the pattern. And I'll just show you here quickly. It didn't have the windows filled in, so I did fill the window panes in. I just felt like it needed to be more than just the white fabric, and I'm really happy with how that came along. And I changed the brickwork too, the colouring. You can see it's a bit pinker and a bit red. I just felt like it was a bit too bright because it was going to be using this red here, and I didn't particularly care for it. So I did change the brickwork to 2 colours that were already in the sampler, and yeah, I'm really happy with how that's coming along. So I've put a couple of thousand stitches into this than since you saw it last. So I've got 3 more flowers to go, and then we'll be turning the corner and heading up the end. And I think I will actually complete this bottom panel on the opposite side before moving up into the middle section. I'm just going to zoom into the chart so I don't have to hold it there for you. So with the chart, I am going to be taking these angels out and potentially replacing them with another 4 horses. I'm going to be changing the text to something, I don't know yet, I haven't decided. I'm going to be removing the snake off the tree, and the people will be clothed. So I'm just going to make those small alterations to my sampler, but they will be the last things. So the tree will probably be the last bit that I actually do along with the people. So still got a ways to go, and really still enjoying this piece. It's something I look forward to picking up, and since I have been doing a lot more monogamous stitching on the Swift project, I've held this one in my hand a bit longer than I would ordinarily, moving from whip to whip with different prompts. So I think you'll see a lot more of this before the year is out. The next project I've been working on is Farmhouse Christmas with the 9 patch, and this is currently the block that I'm working on, the Farm Folk. This is where I was up to before as a piece when you last saw it. And this is where I'm up to now. So I have decided with this one that I was going to put all the 9 charts together, and I will be making like a pillow type of form. I did start the border up here, but I am going to be picking that out and just leaving it with the white border. This one has been great for prompt stitching in the challenge groups that I'm in. So I have got quite a bit of progress on this one. I think last time you saw it, I haven't actually looked at the before photos yet, was partially through the quilt. So in my mind, I think I've done 2 and a bit of the next one. So not too far away. I'm hoping that one will get finished pretty soon. But as I said, I potentially use this one for prompt stitching more than anything else. So that is the Farmhouse Christmas by Little House Needleworks, and this is on a 32 count blue lakeside linen. Next one I'm going to be showing you is another favourite of mine, Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. This is my first Blackbird, and I cannot wait to start my next one. So this is where I was up to last time you saw it. And this is where we're up to now. So I'm really pleased with the progress that this one is making. It is on 32 count linen vintage country mocha. And this is the printed one. So it's got a plain print on the background. And I really like this fabric. I will be getting more of this in the near future once I've completed this piece. This one I've used a little bit of the cold for, and others I've used DMC, just depending what was in my stash at the time of kitting up. Next time I do a Blackbird, I will potentially be using as much variegated as I can, because I think it certainly adds to the charm of the Blackbird design. This one does have a few specialty stitches in it. It does have some satin stitch. It's got some eyelets, as you can see here. It's got some back stitch in it. I thought there was something else too. I can't remember. Traditionally, this one's actually a wedding sampler, which I didn't know at the time when I started it. So I have put our wedding date in here, and I will put our names in this part, but because that's 1/1, like this tiny little 26 September, I thought I'd wait to the end to do that. So that is Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Design, an oldie but a goodie. Future Mel coming back in to assist past Mel, not realising when I was filming the quality that you couldn't really see the actual stitching. So let's whack in an update there for you. You can see it without the glare of the window and all the shadows cast over the wrinkly fabric. So that is where I'm up to now, and I'm going to bring it in because you couldn't really see how tiny the 1/1 was for the September 26. And the satin stitches on all that sort of bunting that you can see. But very happy still with how this looks. So that is Oh Joyous Day. The last one I want to show you is definitely not a favourite. This one is again something I used for prompt stitching when all else fails. This is a Celtic Welcome by Joan Elliott. Now this piece in reality is beautiful to look at. The stitch, the rendered mock-up is not. It's a bit disappointing, and it's hard to keep going when you don't have something beautiful to look at. This is where I was up to last time you saw it, and this is where I'm up to now. This is on an 18 count Ada, and I'm using 1 thread of DMC, and it's hard going. There is lots and lots of counting in this, and I've had lots and lots of frogging. As it's now got a bit more of a definition to it, especially with the thistle here, it's more pleasing to the eye to work on. But this one is definitely one I have to mark off as I go because, and I'm a paper chart girl. This one I do have to mark off as I go because, yeah, it's intense. It is hard work. So I'm going to do the full border first, go right round, and then I will go in to complete the end bit. But yeah, I can't say it's a favourite, but I don't hate it enough to UFO it either. So this one will take many years to get completed. As I said, it really is only I only bring this out when I don't have much else. And being Elliott, when you need a designer or a chart name that's starts with the letter E, that's where it mainly comes out for, is for E stitching. So I've still got some decent progress in there even after we'd finished the Taylor Swift album. So I'm really happy with how Consider the Lilies is coming along, and it is hard to put it down. So I'm pleased that I'm still happy to keep working on such a big project after finishing something else that was quite big. So what else have I got to show you today? Actually, what I might do is the giveaway winner for the Stacey Nash chart. I haven't actually drawn it as yet, so I will pop in your name over here. So congratulations to the stitcher that has won that. Please send me an email to my email address below in the description box, and I'll pop that out in the post to you. Now, talking about the description box, if you have a look down in there, there is a list of a lot of Aussie Flosstubers. Last video I put a list together, and thank you for all the lovely comments and suggestions if your favourite Flosstubers weren't on that list. I have added and edited that list so it's even more, and that's all the Aussie Flosstubers that I'm aware of. So if you look at that list and either you're not on it yourself or you know of someone that you like to watch, please comment below so I can add them into the list of the Aussie Flosstubers that are available for you watching. There's actually quite a few, which is good. So if you're looking for some new people to watch, check out my description box below. Future fun. Now, besides the Taylor Swift, actually, I have to show you if we're going to talk about future fun, so as I had purchased the Taylor Swift, I had also got the Taylor Swift needle. Of course I dropped it. So I got the Taylor Swift needle minder from Caterpillar Cross Stitch when she had released the Taylor Swift stitches. So that had come just in time for me to add that to enjoy it while I was working on the Taylor Swift albums. So loving that needle minder. Her needle minders are just gorgeous. I did actually get a second one. Let me pop that on here too, because if you're going to pay for postage. So I also got this little gingerbread house as well, which I haven't put on a Christmas project as yet, but love that. I'd love to have all the Caterpillar cross stitch needle minders. They're superb. I've got 3 of them now. The other future fun that I did purchase since I've seen you last is called the Stained Glass Honeybee by Shirova Creations. Now, silly me didn't write down whose floss tube I was watching when I saw their progress. I think it was an elephant, and she'd said that Shirova does all different animals in stained glass, and my husband keeps bees. He's an apiarist, so I couldn't help myself. I loved this one, and again, I didn't look at how big it was. It's huge. So big full coverage coming up. Lots of yellow. Yellow's not my favorite color, but I do find it quite striking. My printer is not the best either, because I've printed this out as a speed print, so it's just a reference more than anything. And when I went to have a look at because I was hoping, maybe she had a horse or something. She didn't, but then I saw the bee and everything, all her charts were on sale. So I think I got that for like $2.50 AUD. So while I was there, I'm like, yep, definitely getting it. No plans for the near future of when I'm going to stitch this one, because I've got the gift on the go, and I only like to have one full coverage going at any one time, mainly because of the setup that I like to use for full coverage. But if you do like the stained glass windows, go and have a look. I'll give you the name of the Etsy shop one more time. So it's Shirova Creations. And they're still very reasonably priced, even when they're not on sale. But yeah, I really did get there at the right time to get it as an on sale piece. So that is in my future fun. Now my plans are going to try and get back to normal for my next lot of stitching. When I do my floss tubes, I only give you really 5 stitches that I've been working on the most, because I'm a prompt stitcher. I stitch from 2 different Facebook groups for prompt stitching, so I don't necessarily spend 2 or 3 whole days on one project. I might spend 300 stitches here, 300 stitches there. So when Flosstube comes around, I show you the 5 projects that have had the most work on them since you've seen them last. So today, that's why I've shown you 5. So I will just continue with my prompt stitching, which I really enjoy. Consider the Lilies does fit a lot of prompts because it is such a big project with so many different things in it. So I anticipate that it will have lots of work on it between when I see you next. So today is the beginning of August. So I will aim to come back early September. Now I do have a retreat coming up, the Daisy Chain retreat in September. Or is it October? Should have trusted the gut. It was September. So I've got the Daisy Chain Stitchery retreat coming up in September. So if you're going along, it's your first time, or you'd like to say hello, please do come and say hello. I'd love to meet you. I've also got another retreat coming up in October, which is being held here in Hobart by A Stitch in Time, and Fox and Rabbit are the guest designers. That one I don't have to actually really go away for, so that's great because that's quite local to me, whereas the Daisy Chain one is in New South Wales, and I get to spend a whole weekend with 3 of my favourite stitchers. We get a house together and it's a lot of fun. So I would love to know if you're going to either of those 2 retreats. But I will come back in early September before the Daisy Chain, because hopefully after Daisy Chain there'll be a lot of progress. So until I see you next, as I said, if you're interested in seeing my Bali footage, we went to Bali for a week, just my husband and some friends, just to get away from the cold, and it was delightful and warm and very relaxing. I hadn't been to Bali before. It is somewhere I would go again. It is a flop and drop holiday where you rock up and you start relaxing straight away. We didn't really do a great deal of sightseeing or activities. We just chilled and relaxed and ate and drank, and it was fabulous. So until I see you in September, happy stitching. Bye.